Welcome everyone to the Game of Homes, and here we do not hold back any information from anyone. I'm your host Ches, and we are here to deep dive into real estate each week, giving you insightful information. But before we get into today's episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media. So we are here now with Zarman from Throne Properties, one of our top brokers. Hello.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
Okay, we're good. So, Zamran, have you ever found yourself in a situation with a client where basically they complained about what they actually have to pay? Like the hidden fees of some sort?
Well, yes, I actually found myself in this situation more of the times where buyers don't know about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
They used to ask about is there any hidden charges beside of the price of the property. Actually, the thing is most of the brokers tend to forget to explain to their clients that these fees which are not mentioned in the price of the property.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some fees. Like there are fees of the first thing first, DLD fees. There's 4% DLD fees.
Famous fee.
Yes, the famous fee. So the first thing is the DLD fees. That's 4% of the price of the property plus 580 and
So about the DLD fees, we know that it's 4% and everything, but does that apply to all the zones of the area? I mean, free zone areas.
Actually, no. The DLD is not applied to all the zones. There are some free zones. Where only DIFC's fees are implemented, and this fees is 5% of the total property's price.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So going back to the land department fees, there are 4% land department fees plus if you are purchasing a plot, there is 430 AD you have to add on that, and if you are purchasing an off-plan property, you have to pay 40 ADs.
Oh, okay. 40 only.
Yes, 40
So there's a lot of benefit to buying an off-plan.
Exactly. So agency fees is usually 2%, but it can be more or less depending on the terms and conditions mentioned on the contract.
Yeah. So basically, the buyer or the seller can negotiate the percentage of the commission or something, agency fee basically. Yeah.
Definitely, they can negotiate about the percentage of the commission because that's not something it's not in the books. You can always negotiate on the commissions. It's for open for all. Even the brokers can negotiate for their commissions. They can ask for more, and even the buyer or seller can go for the negotiations if they are not willing to pay more.
Well, from what I know, the buyer have to pay that 2% as a standard.
Yes, that's the norm. That's there are deals where buyers are not ready to pay 2%, not even 2%.
Yeah.
So yes, you can change it. You can negotiate on that as well.
Okay.
So this is the thing that whenever you are purchasing and making contracts, just go through the contracts where we what you call it.
Very, of course. I don't know. There's a word for it.
Yes, exactly.
Carefully.
Thoroughly.
Yeah, thoroughly.
That's a simple word. See? So after the agency fees, there is this trustee fees, trustee office fees. Yes, trustee office is basically a place where you go for the documentation, for the registration of the property. It's between the buyer, seller, and the government of the government basically. So this is called the trustee office, and the trustee office fees is 4,150 for properties more than 500,000. Okay, and if the property is less than 500,000, the fees is 2,150 AED.
Oh, so that's why we have a lot of distress deals.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So, you have any questions regarding these? Sorry, I just forgot to mention one thing. You have to pay VAT, 5% VAT on both agency fees and this trustee fees as well. and there is another fees.
5%, yeah.
Yes, 5% of the
5%.
commission. Like if the property is for 1 million and there's 2% commission,
Yeah.
so the commission is around 20,000 AED, and you have to pay 5% on that 20,000.
So that's plus
5% VAT, exactly. And it's on both the trustee fees and the agency fees. Yes, separately. Okay.
Welcome
And
to the tax life.
there's another thing you have to pay, it's the title deed fees. You have to pay around 500.
For that piece of paper?
Yes, that's for that piece of paper, exactly, you have to pay.
Okay.
Like the charges are around 578 AED. Yes.
I do believe I actually came across someone who actually lost their title deed. I don't know how that turned out. But
So no, if he's lost the title deed, he can go to the rest app and he can just apply for the new one electronically. So that's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yes. So after that, there comes a conveyancing fees. The basically conveyancing process is a legal transfer of the ownership between the owner and between the seller and the buyer. Basically, it's what you can say it in simple words, that it's basically providing ease to both the buyer and the sellers regarding their documentation. The process of buying and selling includes many steps. One of the steps is conveyancing, and
does that actually include the? Sorry to interrupt you. Does that actually include the
let me
divorce
just
fees?
explain conveyancing first. The process of conveyancing is like the legal transfer of the ownership. Yes. So in some cases, if you are a mortgage buyer, you need to actually. Sometimes clients think that bank's gonna cover all their expenses. So the thing is that bank will provide you around 75 to 80% of the mortgage of the property, property price. So the remaining 20% or 25% you have to pay from your pocket. Okay.
At the end or in the beginning?
In the beginning, not in the end, obviously. So the remaining amount bank will cover. The fee in specific relation to mortgage is bank evaluation fee and the bank arrangement fee.
Valuation?
Yes, like look, bank will go to the property selected by the client.
Oh yes,
Okay.
there's I think it's pre-approval process, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So the bank will go and evaluate the property, like what's the worth of the property. Then they will see that how much they can actually release the mortgage amount.
Can you walk me through the evaluation? Because I know there's the pre-approval, yeah? So first, wait. So the client basically gives the documents, like whatever is required, and then they go through the pre-approval process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then after the pre-approval, what happens?
So after the pre-approval and all the things, you just need to insure the property. Like it's mandatory to insure your property when you're buying it on mortgage. Yes. So when everything is finalized, you must keep in mind that there is some more expenses on your way, like the movers expenses. Like if you want to move in, you have to pay the moving expenses.
They want brand
Plus,
new
if you want to make some renovations in your new property, so definitely these things gonna cost you. So you should always keep in mind these expenses as well when you're finalizing the property, so that it fixes your budget and everything.
Okay, so I think we pretty much covered the basics as of now. And that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you guys found it very valuable, especially for the first-time buyers. And actually, maybe we will need a much more in-depth conversation or information about mortgage. So stay tuned for our next couple of episodes after as well. So I'd like to say a special thank you to Zamran from Convening Properties.
I'm humbled that you invited me here to share my my knowledge, so it would help people who are looking to buy properties in Dubai, and that's our motto as well, to bring ease to the end users. So
it's very important actually that we walk with clients.
Exactly.
Through the process of how they buy.
Exactly. Let's see. It's good to make life easy for others. So
make it easy for the client.
Oh yes, make it easy for the client.